This is a incredibly strange video that I didn't think I'd be making. Hey guys, it's me, Hayden, or Mr. Crispy, or Crispy Boy, as my channel's name entails. I make videos on YouTube, typically about video games, mostly reviews on video games. I do a lot of discussions, and I'm also a huge fan of theme parks. I watch stuff on YouTube all the time, like TPM Vids, Disney Beat, FastPass. I really love videos on theme parks, or Disney theme parks, Universal theme parks. I'm all about them. They're some of my favorite things to binge watch on YouTube, just because I dream of going to these theme parks someday once I have money. I love binging these videos online, and very recently Universal Studios had released a new theme park called Nintendo World. You probably heard of it. I am a huge fan of Nintendo theme parks. They go very well together, and I figured if I ever were to make a video on theme parks, it would definitely be about Nintendo World. I, unfortunately, did not have the money to go to Universal Studios Japan. Same with COVID, that's a big issue at the moment, so I didn't really... I unfortunately could not make the flight down to Universal Studios Japan. However, I still really wanted to make a YouTube video on it, where I look at all the little details of Universal Studios Japan's Nintendo World, and I just talk about them. So I had rummaged through YouTube, and there are videos all over online about Universal Studios Japan, Nintendo World. So I'm like, this is perfect. I assume it might be a bit taboo if I were to collect footage from these separate channels and upload them, talking about Universal Studios, what there is to do, what to see. Basically, I did make a video of me discussing the place, Nintendo World, be it the pipes, Easter eggs, secrets, mostly just like a video tour of like what to expect there, off of pre-established footage on YouTube, which I had taken a lot of that from Universal Studios News Today, which is a awesome YouTube site, and I figured I really didn't want to upset them in any way, so what I ended up doing was I mentioned their YouTube video, left links in the description and the eye up above in the corner up here. I left verbal mentions. I've left their logo in the corner so everyone can see it, and I just encourage people to go to their YouTube channel, subscribe, because they make some awesome content. I actually loved it there. That I found their videos while making this video, and they're very good. I real fast really want to mention as well that I incredibly edited the whole video. The whole thing was just edited aggressively. So it was, like, I tried to make it as different as a product of what they were making. It wasn't me just, like, recording over their footage and discussing stuff. It was me editing, taking bits of their footage, talking about, like, what's there, such as Bowser's Castle, it just, like, yeah. So I tried to make it a completely different product than what they had uploaded themselves. So I figured if I were to get any confrontation, it would probably be from that YouTube channel where I had borrowed the footage. Even though I mentioned them, I wasn't sure if it was a bit taboo, but I discussed it with a few friends, and they're like, yeah, that should be fine. As long as you tell people this is where you got the footage from, they'll be okay. But I did not receive a message from them. I received a message from Universal Studios Japan YouTube. At first I figured that it must have been some form of prank. If some small individual team like made a YouTube channel and just like wanted to scare me and sent a YouTube comment in my video. Let me grab the comment here. Hold on. Here we are. Okay. So the comment says, the images shown in this content includes those taken while riding the attraction, which is prohibited to photography. Please delete this post so that all guests can enjoy the park safely. Safely. Thank you for your cooperation. Is cooperation spelled with two O's? I don't know. Cooperation and understanding regarding photography. And they left a link in the description of the park rules. So obviously my initial view on it was it's a prank. Some small YouTube developer is trying to prank me. Haha, very funny, guys. And then I clicked on the channel itself and it took me to Universal Studios. There was no subscription bar, but it seemed to be legit. So I'm like, well, shoot. This might be real, but there's a lot of red flags going here. One, no subscription bar, but maybe that's because it's made for kids, so kids can watch it, so they're just hiding the subscription bar. That is an option. I'm like, okay, well, maybe, why would they leave a comment on my video? So typically, what big companies, when they try to reach out to you, is that they will actually go directly to YouTube themselves and flag your video, and they take it down and you receive a YouTube strike. And that is not how they went about it. They left a comment on my video, which is a very untraditional way for a big YouTube corporation, or a big corporation in general, not just YouTube, to reach out to a small developer. Of course, it's just some guy who's trying to do his job reaching out to me. But it did mark me as a red flag, so I'm like, you know what, I'm not gonna worry about it. If this is real, they would probably just talk to me directly. So I'm like, okay, I privated it for a few minutes, discussed it with my friends. I'm like, you know what, it's probably fake. Let's just leave it alone, and we'll come back to it later if something happens. And then, yesterday, I received another comment on my video from Universal Studios Japan. Another one! So this one reads, here, let me pull it up here. We have asked you to remove your content, but we are not able to confirm you removed it. Please delete it immediately. Thank you. So I looked again and I'm like, well, maybe there's another way to actually tell if this is legit. So I went to Universal Studios Japan's actual website, and I found that if you scroll down, you will find there a few official social media sites. So there was Twitter, there was Instagram, and I clicked on the little YouTube image, and sure enough, it took me to the channel that left the comment on my video. Now this, obviously, there's still some red flags here, but it just completely weirded me out. I'm like, why is this giant corporation looking at my video itself? Because what their problem was that it had shown footage of the park itself. However, I had taken this footage from a separate YouTube channel, a bigger YouTube channel, and it's not only me, it's multiple YouTube channels making videos on Universal Studios. And I looked at all of these guys' videos, I went down to the comments, I scrolled, and as far as I can tell, Universal Studios has not reached out to any of these developers in the same way as they reached out to me. I even tried messaging a few of these people. None of them could get back to me, unfortunately. I asked if they had received any, emails, messages from Universal Studios. None of them reached back, unfortunately. It just seems very weird, because I was just, every single YouTube video that was discussing Universal Studios Japan, that had used footage of Universal Studios Japan, none of them had received any message from Universal Studios Japan, which is baffling, including the giant channel that I had taken some of this footage from and credited. They didn't receive any comments whatsoever from Universal Studios. I just find that very weird. Out of all of these channels, these big channels that are receiving views from talking about your attraction, Universal, they come to my tiny little channel to talk about the video and ask me to take it down. So, as the moment, I do have it privated, my video. Unfortunately, you guys can't watch it at the moment, just because I don't want to receive any form of copyright strike or anything like that. I don't want to make a giant corporation mad at a tiny little YouTube guy. Obviously, I was very upset that I had to take it down. It's only privated at the moment, it's not deleted, but I had worked, obviously, incredibly hard. YouTube is what I work on when I'm not working. Any free time that I have, I dedicate to my YouTube channel, and that video was doing very well, unfortunately. So it had roughly 250 views, a few, 15 likes or something, and a few comments. But it was actually bringing subscribers to my channel, like 15, but for a small YouTuber, 15 subscribers is great. And it was consistently bringing in views. It was consistently doing very well. And I'm like, great, I made a YouTube episode that people are watching, they're really enjoying, this is perfect. So it's really hard not to compare myself to other YouTubers that are also doing the same thing. Now, I don't know if any of these YouTubers have taken footage from other YouTubers in the same vein as I did, because a few of them actually went to Universal Studios themselves, and they're talking about their experience there. So maybe they have more of a right to talk about Universal Studios Japan, but it really bothered me because it's pre-established footage that's already out to the public that I had done my review on. Not review, it was more of just a walk around through the park. So, I discussed, I talked about the Bowser ride, the AR glasses. I think I've said one negative thing is that the AR glasses look a little finicky, and I could imagine it being a little disorienting for any participant that is wearing the glasses. So yeah, I mean, what I didn't know when uploading that video also is that I don't think the park is open at the moment. So I completely understand that. If Universal's like, hey, this place isn't open, don't talk about our place because it's not open. Which, like, totally understandable. But again, why aren't they discussing this with other YouTubers? Other YouTubers that are taking footage of your park and uploading it and, like, receiving all these subscribers because of it. Not that I want these YouTubers to be taken down. I don't want their videos to be taken down in any form. I love them. I love Universal Studios News Today. I really enjoy their content. I don't want their videos taken down. It just strikes me weird that they're not discussing it with other YouTubers in this sense. So yeah, honestly weird. This whole thing is comparable to, like, if I were to upload footage of a Nintendo game, right? And this giant corporation, Nintendo, comes to my comment section and says, delete this video because it features some footage of our game. That's exactly what's going on. I have never seen a giant corporation try to take down a video through the comment section, which a lot of YouTubers don't even read their comments. So it's just, at the moment, it's just gonna stay down, my video. I might, down the line, if the park opens and a lot of people are making videos about the theme park, then I might re-upload it just because I worked very hard on it, and I figured that at that point they won't be nearly as set that I made a video on it. It's really upsetting that it's all pre-established footage that's already out to the public. I just edited it together in a way where discussing the theme park, I'm like, oh, alright, so through this part, you'll go through the pipe, you'll hear some sound effects, you'll go to Peach's Castle, you'll see an image of Big Small Planet, or Big Small World, and Bomb Bomb Battlefield, inspired by Peach's Castle from Mario 64. Very cool, like, this place looks amazing, and just talking about the food, how the amiibo straps work, blah blah blah. So, it's just, I wanted to make this video so I can talk with other people if they find this weird, if other YouTubers have had messages from Universal Studios, if it is traditional of a big corporation to leave a comment in your YouTube video to ask you to delete it. I found that incredibly strange. So I don't often do this, but if you think this is weird, if you could share this YouTube video with anyone else who you think that they might find it weird as well, let them know. This has been the strangest anything that I've done, especially on YouTube, interaction with a giant corporation. So yeah, at the moment, it's just gonna stay down. Maybe I'll upload it later when I feel like maybe they'd be a little less upset about it. I just really wanted to talk about this whole thing. Any final thoughts? It's just weird why a giant corporation is just signaling out my YouTube and no one else's. Very, very strange. Maybe all the other YouTubers are in the right to post what they're posting but I don't know. The rules clearly stated no live streaming, no videos of any form inside the park, which obviously I didn't read the rules before making the video, so that's on me. They're well within their right to ask me to take it down. I don't know if they're actually going to do anything if I wouldn't take it down. I don't know if they can. They probably would have already done a copyright strike on my video if they had that power, which I don't know if they do or not. Maybe they're just being friendly because I'm a small YouTube channel. Anyways, I'll see you in another video. Please talk to me, leave a comment. I don't know. It really bummed me out. I worked hard on that, but you know, they can do what they gotta. Have a good one. Bye, guys.